everybody. How you doing? My name is Marcus. I'm the owner-operator of Squeeze Play Lemonade. I am proud to present to you the Flavor Files. The Flavor Files is a podcast that is going to give you a perspective of vendors from a vendor. I'm looking to get some insight, some information out there for all of those individuals who are looking to be a part of this industry. You will never believe, but I got a couple jerks in the building. I'm glad to introduce to you Ramon, Chef Moan, and Miss Nikki from the Jerk Street Tacos.
Hey.
Yep.
Right? I'm glad to introduce you to. You've been in business since April of 2022. We're looking to give some insight on what you do as a company and hear your story. I'm glad that you guys are into the command center, the studio.
Thank you for having us, man. Thank you for having us.
I just want to start off and ask you, how did you two get into the business?
Well, I've always been around the food business. So let's see, anywhere from going to festivals, starting out in school, just hanging amongst cooks, and then you a festival vendor. So, just intrigued by the whole, movement. And, like I said, I just wanted to jump in and join in,
Yeah. And that's dope. I'm glad you guys are in the business.
Hey,
right?
thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure seeing you at different
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
I just, we're just trying to get to know who you are and what you do. What inspired you to do this specific type of food?
Well, I've always been intrigued with jerk seasoning. Let's say that. I have a few friends. They are Jamaican. So, throughout the years, we've always collaborated on ideas with cooking, certain dishes and whatnot. And throughout there, I remember in the latter parts of, prior to that, I know one of the gentlemen, he used to throw little challenges. Actually, we started cooking together. And so we do parties, potlucks at work. So I was like, you know what, let me do everything jerk. You kind of give them a little twist on, their culture. So I do like little rice, little dread rice or something like that, salmon sliders, just different things I come up with. And so as time went on, this venture came about, still intrigued by the jerks. I was like, well, let me see what I could come up with, collaborate some ideas and, bam.
That is dope. And you got your teammate here, right?
Teammate.
Hey,
this is CEO, the teammate, man, the boss. Man, she owned it. I just cook. You know what I mean?
I was like, whatever you want to do. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep.
Just some questions I have. Is there any unique story behind what led you to the path of being a food vendor, getting in the actual pop-up tent business? What is there any unique stories that led to that part of the business for you?
Well, a lot of moving parts, a lot of stories. Like I said, in the beginning, to initially start this, let's just move forward first. You had a lot of conversations. You knew that I cooked. You've actually, sent a couple people to me, to, maybe do a couple of caterings. Also, have people that I used to work with that would do the same thing. Like I said, I did potlucks, just different things just kind of led to that venture. Being in the industry that I was in, it was kind of slowing down for me and I got stuck, but still I was like, man, I got to do something. What is it that I want to do? And of course, everybody kept saying, you're good at cooking. So I was like, all right. So going back to just the whole Jamaican theme, I know there's a lot of restaurants, you don't see a lot of restaurants out here that actually produce a lot of the food. And then in festivals, you don't see it as well. So I was like, well, let me try to put a little take on it and then make it more of a concession style, finger food type, product. And so just like I said, just running ideas together and then, always, like I said, once again, being intrigued by the culture, the business, here we are.
I'm glad to see it. I'm glad.
Yes.
This next portion of our of the podcast, of the interview, is called Behind the Booth. This portion of the podcast is sponsored by Avo Kids. Avo Kids is a nonprofit organization that teaches students about constitutional law. It also helps build students self-esteem. So we are entering into the Behind the Booth segment. In this segment, this is the fun part because we all started at some place, right? Can you, as a team, explain to me what your first event was and how that experience was for you?
All right, let's see here. That was an event. Our first event was actually Consumers River College. We got a call from one of our sponsors, so to speak, Super Taco.
Yeah.
Super Taco, yes.
Shout out.
They gave us a start. They came up, gave us a surprise call, said, "Hey, there's a soccer event. You ready?" And we weren't ready, but we had to be ready, you know.
Ready.
To add to the story, let's see here. We were scrambling, trying to figure out, we got our equipment and everything. We were trying to figure out how we were going to get the equipment there. That was a very unique, an interesting journey right there. So, I kind of like was looking around for, let's see, equipment, looking around for trailers. Had an idea of what I wanted. Ran up on a good friend of ours, and he's like, "Bam, you know what, man? I can help you out." He had a trailer for us, and he also had a van for us. So we're going back and forth between the van and the trailer, and I'm like, "Okay,
Just get a U-Haul.
yeah." Well,
Just
let me tell you about the
a
U-Haul.
U-Haul.
Let me tell you about the U-Haul before the U-Haul came about. So I started sending pictures to Nikki of the trailer, and I just got a hell no. So by the time I got back to the house, she had a U-Haul, already prepped and ready to go. So that right there started the journey, and that was like, now that we got the U-Haul, how are we gonna get all this stuff loaded in?
Right.
You know what I mean? Who are we gonna get to work? How's it gonna happen? And the food prep and everything. So that happened. When we get there, we didn't know what we were doing, so we decided to call you and your wife. And thank you, because that helped out a lot. Your wife helped out on cashier. She was able to control the money, the long line that we had.
Got it done.
Got it done. Yes.
And that's important, right?
Yeah.
What I've learned and in the business, what I've learned is that sometimes that help comes from places that we don't expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
We might be drowning in it with a long line, and we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Somebody will show up magically into your booth to help you. So yes, I understand.
Yeah.
I definitely understand. Every great team, right, has role players,
Right.
And you two are the dynamic duo of Jerk Street Tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Just can you explain to me what your roles are in Jerk Street? How you as a team get things done, both individually and as a group. Nikki, can you expand on what it is that you do?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm the administrative role, right? So chef is the chef. Chef cooks. Don't get in my area. I gotta get all the administrative stuff. We gotta get health. We gotta make sure that we have all the logistical stuff done. Making sure that we know what time we're supposed to be there. Let's be on time. Let's get everything set up, because with a tent, we don't have just a truck. We can't just pull up and be ready to serve. It's going to take some time to get unloaded, packed out, and get the service done. So I take care of all the logistical portions, and it's important, as a team, to have your role players, correct, so that you don't step on each other's toes. We don't want to have no problems. We just want to have that flow and make sure everything beforehand is set up, right?
And when you say logistics, like finding events, things like that, what does that entail? Finding events, locking in events. What does that look like for you?
What I started doing, because we were so new and I had no idea where we were going to go, how we were going to do this. So it's looking at events on Facebook, looking at events on Instagram, contacting the promoters, seeing what it is that they're looking for. Do they want us there? You know what I mean? And then making sure that our TIFs are completed correctly. Because when health comes in and fire comes in, you got to make sure that you have all your beforehand. And with me not knowing anything about the industry, it took a lot of research, to figure that out. What do you have a commissary, right? That's first.
Right.
Because with food, you got to have a commissary.
And then,
So,
can you expand on what a commissary is for those
commissary.
out there watching and
Oh
listening?
yeah, for sure. Like commissary is a kitchen where you prep. You can't prep in your house kitchen. You have to have everything to code. You got to know your temperatures for your meats, your vegetables, for transporting everything there, for when you get there, how are you gonna what's your holding,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Um so yeah, it took a lot of work, and you gotta have all your credentials, making sure that you have your food safety um certification, and then chef, he's the manager, so he has to have the full food safety. So yeah, it's a lot of prep beforehand and making sure that you have all your credentials before you even get on site, because your TIF is not going to be approved if you don't have all that information set in
Your
stone
fire
beforehand.
extinguisher. Don't forget the fire
Oh, the fire
extinguisher.
extinguisher, yeah, you know.
Speaking to the TIFF, that is why we are called the Flavor Files Podcast, the TFF podcast, right? Chef Moan,
Yes, sir.
speaking about, we were speaking about roles and the role you play. Can you give me some insight as a chef on what your responsibilities are uh, before the event, days before, day of the event, things like that?
Well, I am the head of the meat department, if you want to call it. And there is a lot of prep involved. And that's just because of the item I chose. A lot of the meats are smoked. So the prep, and seasoned and smoked, slightly marinated. So the prep process starts from the purchase of the meat. And so from there, you got to time everything out right. Make sure you get it refrigerated when like prep to when you're on site and cook. Just knowing all of the expiration dates. You definitely got to know where you bought it from, because if something go bad, it's got to be traceable.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I said, just the smoking of the meats. I've had many experiences, or I've tried. A lot of things with trial and error. Trying to make sure that I had either the right meats or the right things seasoned, or just figuring out the timing, the temperatures, par cooking, just everything that goes with being in the kitchen and being a chef. And I can say I've learned a lot, and I'm learning even more.
It's a real level. It's a work of love.
Yeah.
Work of love. Oh,
Work
yeah,
of-
definitely
it's a
work of love.
And I-
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
like-
yeah, yeah.
That's why I do
Yeah,
lemonade.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
You got to be passionate. You got to be passionate to do what you do,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah,
You have to
yeah,
be
yeah,
passionate.
yeah.
Just segueing into that, can you describe the food you serve, types of food you serve, and any unique dishes that you guys serve as a company?
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna describe the food, and I'm gonna let Nikki describe her famous award-winning salsa. There's a nice little story behind that too, if we got time to tell.
Yeah, you do. We got nothing but time.
Yeah. The meats we have are chicken, steak, pork. They're marinated. Two of the meats are smoked. That is the chicken, and that is the pork. We serve those, of course, on a tortilla shell, and then they're paired with each salsa that, once again, I told you Nikki will talk about. We have chicken wings. We have a chicken sandwich, and now we're starting to do rice and peas, possibly wraps. But our highlighted item, which we probably have not marketed a little bit more, is our bratwurst. It's Caribbean style bratwurst. It's kind of like a recipe that we kind of came up with. We kind of crafted it, put it together. All the ingredients. It comes with a nice little magic sauce, sweet peppers. It's seared, nice little bun, heated and toasted and all that. And just the yum, that was good finish, So yeah, that's one of our highlighted items. Interesting thing about that is when we have gone to events unexpectedly, we, people like wanted that, they'd order like 4 at a time, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, whoa, so
That's a good problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But back to the meats and smoking them. I try to stay as original as possible with the smoking process. Kind of studying the Jamaican culture. I learned that jerk really means cooking process. So fortunately, I went out and got a couple smokers and whatnot, so I can kind of at least compete with the process. And then the wood. The wood kind of finalizes that flavor, that unique flavor in the meats, So with that, I add that to my recipe, at times, and yeah, we're winning with that,
Yeah.
So yeah.
For sure.
Speaking of wood,
Okay.
I'm always interested to figure out like where people get their products from and how you source that. Where do you guys, as a company, where do you get your wood from?
Man, that would cost a whole lot. It's like buying a plane ticket, getting on a boat. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's kind of like a speakeasy. But now the wood actually comes from Jamaica, and it's very rare. You don't find it out here in the United States. When I got it, I was really searching far and wide for it. And first I started out trying to buy the pellets, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not gonna work." Then I think I started with the chips. I said, no, that's not going to work. So finally, I found the wood. When I found the wood, put in my order. When it got here, I was excited. I opened up the box. I had a Jamaican flag, and I had a letter from customs. And I was like, I think I ran over here and told you, man, look at this, look at this, we're official, So that's what made it fun, you know. And so now I definitely highlight the wood when I do my caterings, because it's a little bit more personable. It's a very, very, very unique flavor to that.
So that is that's interesting that you say it comes from Jamaica. In purchasing the wood, do you give yourselves time? Like how long is the process? Like how long is the shipping? Things like that coming from Jamaica for your wood.
It can take 2 weeks, almost up to a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have to be pretty.
So the logistics.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's pricey too. So, if the tacos start going up, that's me because at the borders, hey.
You spoke about your brat. What makes your brat unique to say if I get my prepackaged brats from a store locally here in Sacramento, what makes your brat unique?
Well, one, it's seared. Two, like I said, just the different spices that we've used in it. The peppers and the magic sauce.
Okay.
Like I said, those are all, handcrafted, put together. Like I said, you got to come through me if you want that.
So it's something, ingredients or something that you created.
Yeah.
You created this brat.
Yeah.
All right. So it's specific to Jerk Street.
Yeah.
Remember that. That brat.
Signature.
You can only get that brat at Jerk Street. Remember that. Remember that. I love that. I love that. Being a vendor, understanding that all events are different. What challenges have you experienced as a team, as a business, at some events? Like what unique challenges have you experienced at different events throughout? You guys have been all over. So throughout your experience in the last, 2 years, 3 years now, what unique experiences have you had at these events?
I'll let Nikki start off with her challenges first, and I'll piggyback off that.
I mean, so we have tacos. Right? But they're jerk tacos, right?
Gotcha.
So we've done a couple of taco festivals, and my anxiety goes high because I'm like, we're going out here and we're competing with tacos.
The traditional.
Right? Traditional tacos. But then chef will say, like, there's no competition. There's no competition. It's always the people's choice, right? So then when we get there and people are flooding because they're so intrigued with what is a jerk taco, right? So that was a challenge initially, like going to taco festivals and bringing our different taco to the festivals and having, the people like they're used to a certain taco.
Gotcha.
So that was a challenge. Also, not knowing, if there's gonna be how many people, what's the crowd?
Right.
You can't put a number on how many people are gonna show up. You have the weather, you have, a couple of things against you. So you don't really know what's gonna happen. So, and I don't do hot.
Right, the heat. Okay, gotcha. If you're not familiar, we own and operate out of Sacramento, California. So that could be tough. Yes, we get 100+ triple digits quite often at events. So yes.
And then the tent, it could be 99 outside, but it was 150 inside the tent, right?
Gotcha.
So we're sweating. I don't want to drip sweat on the taco. Right? Oh my God.
In the condiment bar.
On the condiment bar, and I'm sweating, and it's like, oh God. So yeah, that's the challenge.
And then you Chef?
Ooh, challenges can come from all corners.
Right.
Like you get there and, logistics, or not logistics, but you get there and maybe the vendor might not be ready for setup or where you're located. You
Right.
might have to drag your items from the street all the way across the field, the parking lot,
The event
upstairs,
coordinator.
downstairs.
The
Yeah.
event coordinator.
Yeah. You don't quite get all the information.
Ahead of time.
Let's see here. Challenges, not a lot of challenges with the customers. Let's see. Sometimes you can have challenges with vendors and the personalities, the questions, just the vibe.
Right.
And me, I like to block those out and keep people encouraged. Because it is tough out there. You know what I mean? I think the biggest challenge is am I going to make some money today?
We just pay these vendor fees.
Yeah,
and we gonna make our money back.
So you come out the gate sweating and tripping and, just like, discouraged, you know. And so when you look over at the next vendor and, they got a line and everything's functioning and moving, you start to be like, well, you question your product. You know what I mean? You question, the event. You question a lot of things, but you can't. It's the people's choice. The good thing about that is you stood up for the challenge,
Right.
So, yeah.
So getting out there, actually.
Getting out there.
Yes. And we're all there to make money. So if it's slow, I get that. I got that same feeling.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
Just knowing that you've done over the last 2-3 years, you have done a lot of different events. Do you have a favorite event? I mean, you could answer it as a group, as a duo, or you might individually have your own favorite event. Is there a favorite event that you have that you can recall? Why was your favorite? And just give us some insight on that.
I'm gonna start off with Foodieland. Foodieland was,
Vegas.
It was fun.
Vegas,
And we have particular spots, because they move around.
Yeah.
But we could say Vegas was fun, and then Seattle, the bite of Seattle.
That was a lot.
I think that was unique,
Took us
and
a long
I
time
think
to
that
get
took
there.
us to the top. You know what I mean?
Right,
Showed us where we stood in the game. Man, I can't say enough about it. Like
NASCAR.
Look, NASCAR is a good one.
Okay.
We were really on a level of like, wow. We're with $1 billion company. We're with this
Sonoma Raceway.
this raceway.
Right.
Back in the day, I drive past it and see it, and I just wonder why. You know what I mean? I've always been intrigued by NASCAR. But like I said, for us to have that opportunity, in which that opportunity did come from Foodieland. Man, we're thriving into right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So they totally found us based off of our post from Foodieland. Sonoma Raceway found us.
Wow.
Yeah. So, or Levy Restaurants, I should say. So, based off of our connection with Foodieland, Levy reached out to us and asked us if we wanted to come out to NASCAR, and that was like a dream come true.
Thank you for mentioning how they found you. Can you explain to me how important marketing, posting, things like that are for you as a business?
Yeah, for sure. Like, when you have these events, you expect, or what I thought initially was that the promoter would like spin and source out, oh, we have these people coming, we have this vendor coming, we have this vendor coming, but it's not up to the promoter. It's up to you to market yourself. So, what we do is once a month we'll post where we're going to be for that month, and then as the events get closer, then we'll run stories and reels on where we're going to be this weekend. So it's up to you to do your marketing and let people know where you're going to be, and let people know where you're going to be.
Got you.
Yeah.
So you're promoting you.
It's your business,
right? So we are responsible for our marketing, which helps when we get to that event. With that traffic, right? Them lines, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes lines are a good thing.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all
For
good.
sure. I want to see the line.
And just segueing off of that, what makes a good event? What do you consider? What does an event have? What makes a good event for you as Jerk Street?
Well, it always starts off with communicating with the vendor. The promoter ahead of time. If you meet eyes, lock arms, and shake hands, and have that friendly interaction. That's a good start right there. That means like with Nikki, she always has the book together. You know what I mean? Anywhere from the TIFF, ready for inspection. That's a start right there.
Right.
And we also, we make menus. You got to share your menu with the promoter and let them know what you have.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that when you are going out there, they know exactly what you have and what they're gonna, showcase on their site, their socials. So it's important to get your menu together, to have everything that that you have. Some events will do, will showcase the brat breweries. They go really well
crowd,
at their breweries.
crowd.
Yeah. The tacos, the wings, so it's just a matter of knowing what event you're going to and making sure that you communicate with that promoter and let them know what you got.
Chef Mo, you mentioned her having the book for at the event. What is the importance of making sure you have your documentation, that book? What is that book? Why is that book important? And why do you bring it to events?
I carry that book.
Yeah.
Marcus.
Yes.
Remember that time I came to we were going to an event to set up over there at the bingo hall?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was like, Nikki, you got your book?
Yes.
So why you got that big ass book? I got my book with all my receipts.
And why do you carry the book? What's the importance of having that?
The importance of the book is so that I don't have to shuffle around and try to figure out where's my MEV, where's my TIF, my multi-event verification for that annual permit.
Right.
Where are all of our credentials? Where's our food safety and our food handlers, right? Everything is there. And I have it organized for each county. Sacramento County, Sonoma County, Napa, wherever we're going, everything is organized in my book. If you don't have organization, then your business is not going to be successful. Right.
We've known and we've been at events. We've been at different festivals where individuals that aren't organized sometimes get shut down because they don't have the proper documentation. So that book is
I'll talk all about my book.
That's law, huh?
I'll talk about my book.
The mayor.
Mayor Darford.
We're on that topic of festivals. Is there any memorable moments that stand out to you two from all of the festivals that you've done? Memorable that you can never forget, both positive, negative. Is there any memorable moments that you can remember and let us know about from different events you've done?
I got two. And I know Nikki got a couple. So get in the car. The only time I slept was from the time we get to the house to the event. Get out the car, 6 a.m, grumpy, coffee needed, all that good stuff, and we get everything rolling. So we get everything rolling. We had some, first-time friends helping us out. They thought they were there to maybe spectate a little bit,
right?
But no, they were on them shelves, flipping. And so while we're there, guess who walks in? Inspector.
Health.
And it's like the crowd stopped and everybody, all the customers knew exactly what that moment was about. We thank God for the crowd, except for maybe a couple people. They wanted to chime in and say, hey, make it hard on them because they expected us, they expected them to give us a hard time.
Right.
But then they were also trying to agitate us to agitate them. And I figured out quickly that's not what you want to do. You want to make them your friend. Yeah. So when we came in, the young lady, she looked at everything and then she just sat back and watched. And then I just kind of froze. I was like trying to remember everything that would, that wasn't either at temperature or this and that. And I mean, my heart is beating. I got meat on the grill. I got the whole 36-inch grill, full of meat. And the liquid is starting to come up. The moisture is dripping on the mud and everything. And then she comes up and she says, she pointed out a few things. And she said, everything's good. So she wrote us a list of what we should do in order to, for the next event, just be in good standing. Yeah. And then found out that I didn't need my handler's license until, you can go like about a 6-month period
Okay.
time, or there's a certain period of time that you can go, and then you're good. You get him and you're good. So, anyways, got back, service up and running. Line started getting longer. It was waving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And all of a sudden, we ran out of taco shells. I was like, man, how are we going to do this? So I was like looking around. I was like, oh, there's a taco place. Somebody doing tacos. So I had the courage, built up the courage to go down there and ask them. They sold us the case. And I was like, thank God.
So vendors helping vendors.
Yeah, vendors helping vendors.
Right.
I'll never forget them.
We're a
I'll never forget them. I thank them to this day.
For some context, just to let you know that Hangtown is a motocross event that is in the middle of nowhere, and it is muddy.
Yeah.
It is dirty. So, yes, I understand how you can be,
right.
The temperature can get a little hot. We get a little frustrated. Yes. Hangtown is a tough place to be in.
Yeah.
But was that your first time at Hangtown?
That was the first time at Hangtown.
So
yeah. And it was a very successful event, you know. All I remember is when we were leaving out, I can kind of see you at a different distance. And then you give me a call, and we were just happy. I'm like, look, y'all look like they was following you out with a Brinks truck. Hey, we was just like with our hands up, like, wow, this really just happened, And we fulfilled the moment.
Yes.
I don't know what was it like for you?
Oh, Hangtown was it. Yeah. I just remember when health came, and we were in the middle of service.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of service. I thought you said you were going to be here at 9:00. That's another thing. The coordinators will tell you that health will come at a certain time and fire will come at that's not it. Gotcha. They're coming at the middle of service when there's a line and you're tired and you're hot, right? And your tent is a disaster.
Yes,
it's a disaster.
They like to catch you like that.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those things we got to be prepared at all times, right? You never know when health
sugar free say.
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
That's it.
I hear you.
That's it.
So man, let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about preparation. We're mobile. We're mobile vendors, tent vendors. So we do have a before the show, and we do have an after the show event. Mm-hmm. What does your preparation look like day of, before the show, and what does it look like after the show? That load out, that load in. What's your preparation? Day of preparation, both load in, load out.
Day of is 4:00 in the morning, getting out the bed, saying a prayer, thanking God, getting nervous, butterflies, trying to make sure you got enough meat, not knowing, everything just runs across your mind. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, the ice, wondering if Nikki's fussing at me because, I am behind, you know what I mean? Making sure we don't leave, anything behind.
Right.
So, your mind is just going. And then when you get there, your mind is on so much that it's only me and her loading and unloading and, setting up our tent and mortar, as we call it.
Right.
So when that's happening, you got to have a feng shui, you know what I'm saying? What comes in and what, goes out, in the trailer, out the trailer. Right. So setting up, you got, sometimes you get to a spot and the setup's different. You know what I mean? You might have to come down to one tent, two tents, this and that. Make sure you got all your equipment, your what do you call it? The generators, and it's a lot. Yeah. Now, like you said, when you get done, where do you start? Because like you said, everything's all over the place. It's like, how do I do this? And then you want to take a break. Then your workers, they say, well, can I help you with anything? No, y'all don't. Yeah, they don't want to help, So, but we found to use that as our decompression time, you know.
Okay.
And so from there, like I said, we start with one little corner. We've gotten better with the process. But, like I said, anything you touch, try to load it up once, you know, because if not, you'll turn a 1 hour setup to a 2 hour breakdown,
Right.
And I think I remember us being in Napa one time, and we're feeling better about ourselves.
Right.
It did take a long time, and it was a time of the season where the lights, the daylight savings time had kicked in. We looked over and we're about to pack up, and there's somebody that was worse than us. It was like, woo, thank God. But I felt, a little humbled. And I said, you know what, do y'all need some help? They were like, no, we got it. But you got to learn, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's all a part of, the experience, and you will get better as time goes on, you know. But like I said, just knowing that truck, you know, sometimes, or not the truck, but the trailer, you know, learning how to position stuff, you know, like I said, what goes out one way has to go back in the same way, you know. It's a feng shui, it's a system, you know. So yeah.
So you mentioned that that day of is 4 a.m.
Yeah,
right? And,
yeah.
And we're not the event's over, but your job's
No,
not
it's
done,
not.
right?
It's
So
not.
you're
It's
looking
not.
at a 14, 16-hour day.
Yes,
And I can
yes,
understand. And
yes.
at the most important time, because now we got to load it up. Not only are you loading up the truck, you're driving it home.
Right.
So-
And then you gotta unload,
There we go.
wash, and
Yes.
do all of that.
Yes.
And actually, the preparation doesn't even start like the day of.
Right.
Right. With us, preparation starts a week in advance because we got to make sure we have the sauces done. We got to have the meat done. We got to have everything prepared and loaded up.
The world famous salsa.
What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Award winning.
Let's do it. Yes.
Can
So
we please?
when did you get that award, and what event, and when was that award for you?
Okay, so we had just started.
Super Taco was involved in
And
this one too.
Super
They called us
Taco
again
did it.
out of the clear blue.
Him, Chef, and Super Taco put me in a competition for salsa. And I was like, what?
Right.
What are the specs? Where's the paperwork? What am I supposed to do? Nobody sent me anything until it was like 2 days beforehand. And they said I had to have 1,500 cups.
Wow.
Sauce cups.
Wow.
Of salsa prepared and ready to go. I was like, 1,500? Nah, I ain't doing all that. I'm gonna give me some big old cameras. I got the 10-gallon cameras, filled them up with salsa, pineapple salsa, 2 of them. I was like, this is enough. This is plenty. I'll just fill them up as I go. But we had an event in Rockland the day of, so I had to go help set up, and then I had to go to Old Sac, and I was late. So all the other salsa competitors were already there. It's Old Sac. There's no parking. So I had to find parking. And then I'm like getting my salsas in my 10-gallon containers. And I got a wagon. I'm like, okay, let me pull this over here. I'm pulling through everybody. Everybody's all set up. They all ready to go. I was like, oh, excuse me. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, excuse me. Okay, so remember I said I had 2-gallon, 10-gallon containers. I ran out of salsa, Marcus.
Wow.
Marcus, I ran out of salsa.
That's a lot of salsa.
Okay, so I was like, oh, so maybe they were right.
That's
So
20 gallons of salsa.
period. So I was like, okay, well, I need more salsa. I called Chef. I'm like, hey, I ran out of salsa. Do you guys have salsa over there? He was like, they didn't answer the phone. So I was like, ooh, what am I gonna do? I left. I was like, oh, I gotta go make more salsa. I told my neighbor, I gotta go make more salsa.
Wow.
I'll be right back. I ran downtown to State Mart on Broadway, grabbed pineapples, made salsa. Another 10-gallon. I was like, this will be enough. It's only till 4 o'clock. I'm good. No worries. I get there. I ran out of salsa again.
Wow.
Okay. So it's the end of the event. I'm like, I'm not going again and making more salsa. I'm done. This is over. I didn't even want to do this.
That's 30 gallons of salsa.
30 gallons of
30
salsa.
gallons.
I don't even want to do this. I didn't even sign up for this. This is what somebody else did for me. I didn't even want to do this. I'm done. Period. I'm cleaning up. Oh, before I'm getting ready to clean up, these 2 women come and I have a picture of them. They're like, do you have any more salsa? I was like, I have no more salsa. It's done. It's over. No more. Do you have your container? I do. I give them my container, 10 gallons. They turn it up.
They drink it.
Out the container.
Wow.
Right? So I'm cleaning up everything. Health. I was like, oh, this is so nice.
Health was gone. Though.
There we go.
Health
There we
was
go.
not
There we
there.
go. There we go.
So I'm cleaning up everything, and so all of a sudden, my neighbor goes, they just said Jerk Street Tacos. I said, Jerk Street Tacos? They said, Jerk Street Tacos? Where? They're like, they called your name. The judges called your name. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go out. They're like, Jerk Street Tacos, you won the Judge's Choice Award.
Wow. That is amazing.
I was like, oh my God. I don't even know what I said when I got the award. I was like, I want to thank all my fans. Everyone.
That is amazing.
I won.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So that's where the award-winning pineapple salsa came from the Sacramento, the first annual Sacramento Salsa Festival.
Wow, hey, you hear that? So be on the lookout for the Sacramento Salsa Festival. We might see the world-renowned pineapple salsa back at the Salsa
Yeah,
Festival.
and it's they as a matter of fact, it came up with a phrase. Every time we would, serve the taco, and then somebody would come back and give their compliments.
No,
they were like,
Michael gave it to us. Michael
they,
Benjamin.
well, it was, but the salsa though.
But the
But
salsa
the
sauce.
salsa though. So that kind of, yeah.
That is a dope story.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It feels good, right? That labor
Yeah.
of love to actually
Yeah.
get something, something that you could put up in the house,
Yeah.
right? And something that you can look back on and say, wow,
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
carried 30 pounds of salsa. You
I
should have got an
did.
award for that.
Period.
Right.
All by myself.
And that going down this, talking and having this discussion and with you, knowing that you had to start, right? At one point in time, you had to do that first festival. We spoke about that, right?
Yeah.
Is there any tips or advice you would give to any future vendors that are looking to get into this line of business, being vendors? Is there any tips or advice you would give them that you feel that would help them starting off in this business?
Yes, definitely research events. Understand what just the industry is about.
Gotcha.
Learn to diversify yourself. Learn your food. Learn your product. Definitely learn how to market, network. When you're amongst vendors, be vendor friendly. Kind of stay away from the Debbie Downers. Don't it will be discouraging. Let's see. Just keep a positive attitude. It's tough out there, and like you said, you always remember it's the people's choice. So once again, do not get discouraged. And I know Nikki has a couple tips as well.
And you also got to make sure that you have an active, a reliable POS.
Got you.
You remember
Yes.
when we were at events and
Yes.
our POS wasn't working? There was no Wi-Fi. So I want to, we use Revy.
Right.
Revy is
Amazing.
amazing. We don't even need staff,
Gotcha.
basically, because you can do self-serve.
Gotcha.
So the customer can put in their order, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it has a kitchen ticket where it pops back out to us. So
Gotcha.
we know exactly what's going on and what the customers ordered. So making sure that you have a reliable POS, making sure that you're on time for the events. And again, like Chef said, making sure that you know your product, not having too many items on your menu so that you can perfect what it is that you're doing. And then, I those are like the main things that I would.
And speaking of that Revy, I mean, the POS, that's a point of sale system,
Yeah.
right? That is for you that are getting into the business. That is something that you need to take both debit cards. In the age of AI, right?
Correct.
You guys are forward thinking with that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Being able, if it's the two of you, being able to get those orders, but also fulfill those orders.
Yeah.
That's forward thinking, and I
For
think
sure.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I use Square as my POS, but I have to be present. That's not something I can say.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And another thing, I'm sorry, with the Revy, also we were at an event and our system went down. It wasn't charged. Some reason the charger wasn't working. So I opened up online orders so the customers could go to their site.
Oh, so they offer online on Revy.
Correct.
Wow, that's good to know.
So that helped out.
That's good to know. And this, we're getting towards an important part for me as a vendor to a vendor. As business, we're always looking to grow, right? Are there any programs or resources that you've used to help your business grow?
We do have, and we have used, and that is Alchemist. I'll let Nikki expound on it. She's the lead on that, and
Administration.
yes.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, for sure. So Alchemist is it's a program where they help small business owners. No matter where you are in your journey as a small business owner, from not even knowing where you want to go to already being up and running like we were. So we did the spring cohort.
Okay.
And there were so many business opportunities, business things that we were able to, educational things that we were able to grasp and to see that we were actually on the right track. They have bankers that come in and speak, telling you how to get grants and loans for your company, for your startup. The mentors are excellent. They have all kinds of resources for Black, Latinos, minorities, uh, business owners.
They tell you about grants.
Yeah. And then now we are in the AKIP program, which is the graduate program.
Gotcha.
So now we have a full-time mentor who helps us achieve our business plan goals.
Gotcha.
Right. So with the cohort, you draft your business plan, right? And you get a chance to apply for the graduate program where you can actually achieve your goals. So it's super dope, and it's a super excellent program for small business owners, no matter where you are in your business journey.
So we are going to put the link to Alchemist in the video, at the bottom of the video, so you will have access to that. And then expanding on the business and funding, we will, as Flavor Files will have in the future, an individual come on and talk about lending for small businesses. So that's something that you could be on the lookout for. And this to close out, I just wanted to ask, what are the future goals that you guys have and plans that you have for Jerk Street Tacos? What does the future look like for you two?
Well, right now, one of our future goals, or one that's been set with our business coach or mentor, is she wants us to be established at the Golden One Arena. We're already in the works with Sonoma, but we found out doing that style of a venue, it's higher volume, and it kind of fits with our items. And so we're just trying to tailor everything else around there. We want to expand a little bit more in catering. Let's see, tent and mortar right now, brick and mortar. We will see how that goes. This program also is offering, I think they have a project called the Riverfront coming up. There's a potential opportunity to get in there as I think you hold a residence for about 3 years.
Yeah.
So right now we're just taking it step by step, day by day, and kind of have a long-term goal of anywhere from 3 to 5 years. Just right now, just studying the game. I can't think of any other goals right now, but like I said, right now we're just trying to.
We're just working on getting that concession style type of venue under our belt.
We also even had an offer through Levy to also do my favorite team, 49ers. The Levi Stadium. Levi.
I like that.
I'm waiting on that. That would be the highlight of my life.
Well, I probably won't go for them, but I'll go for the I'm joking. Yes, that is.
Go for the jerks.
I'll go for the jerks. I won't go to be a jerk. I'm going for the jerks. Is there any trips? Any trips planned for the jerks? You talked about how you guys work. Is there any trips planned, activities planned for the jerks in the future?
So, one is NASCAR next year in Arizona, and then
we're going to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because Chef, there's a Ocho Rios, which is one of the brands that he uses for his jerk seasoning.
Oh.
They have a culinary class, so we're gonna go to Jamaica. He's going to go to the culinary class. I don't care what Julius says.
Julius.
Inside.
He's the money manager of the team.
He ain't.
Julius.
He's the money. He's the Department of
Julius
Treasury.
Is going to Ocho Rios to go to culinary school.
It's like a boot camp.
Yeah.
Right.
I love it.
So it's a week-long culinary course, and they use the Ocho Rios jerk seasoning and the actual jerk um, type of the what do you call it, preparation,
Yeah.
the underground preparation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're looking forward to that. Yeah.
Well, that is good to hear, and I'm glad you are going to get an opportunity to go on a vacation.
Man, I can't wait.
Hey, listen, I really want to thank you too for coming on.
Yes,
I
yes.
really
Thank you for having
appreciate
us,
it.
man.
It means a lot
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah,
It means a
yeah.
lot to me. I wish you all the best in the
Yes.
future, and I really appreciate it. So, just a heads up, great point. Where can we find the Jerks? Socials, pages, wherever we can find you. I really appreciate you guys giving it to the people and letting them know where they can pull you up and find you.
We're on Instagram, Facebook, the TikTok as Jerk Street Tacos.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jerk
yes.
Street Tacos.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I also wanted to say, with starting up businesses, to make sure that you get accredited through the Better Business Bureau.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
We initially, when we
They're
first
great for
started,
resources.
I reached out to them, and we got accredited in our first year. So it's really good to make sure that you market with, Better Business Bureaus, and you do, all of those things for your small business to make sure that you can grow, and that when people look you up on Google, Yelp, any social platform, they can see that you are official and you're accredited and that you're taking your business seriously.
Wow, that's a gem. That's a gem. I like that gem. We're gonna end with that gem.
Cool.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, we will be on future podcasts, future YouTube. We will be featuring different aspects of the business for you. How to build a business plan, how to get financial funding, things like that. How to prepare for TFF so that you are capable and able to vend on the day of the event. Hey, listen, I'm Marcus. I'm glad that you tuned in. I look forward to many more episodes, and I'd like to thank the Jerks again for coming on.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
and you guys, you ladies, you everybody, you have a great one, and we'll see you again on the next episode.
All right.